The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers, commentators, experts, and/or host. They do not explicitly or necessarily reflect nor represent the channel's policy or the views held by the channel or broadcaster. The broadcaster or its channel cannot be held accountable for all or any views expressed during this program.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is the day that the Lord have made. We're going to rejoice and be glad in it. Yes, yes, it is Wisdom Wednesday, and I'm sitting in a different seat this morning. I'm actually waiting on the two hosts to come. I think they up, but in case they're not, I guess I'm gonna have to carry it on. But before we do that, I do want to say good morning to the Faith and Tea family. Good morning to Mother Feaster, the Dean of Faith and Tea. God bless you. Thank you for joining us. To Lady Sophie Jackson, God bless you. Thank you for joining us. To the woman of God, uh, Patrice Fisher, God bless you. Thank you for joining us. To uh, uh, the overseer himself, the prophet Randall Fisher, God bless you for joining us. To Elder Feaster, God bless you. Thank you for joining us this morning. To Elder Richard Clark, we praise you. Thank you for joining us this morning. Yes, we are excited about what God is doing in Lady Hickey, God bless you. Thank you for joining. To Pastor Yvonne, God bless you. Thank you for joining us. Listen, you got to reach out to me. We got to get you on here on one of our Friday inspirational. So make sure you DM me when you get a chance. DM me because we would love to have you on talking about your ministry, how God has blessed you this year to launch out into the deep. And Lord knows, we know that it's only for the strong. Amen, somebody. So God bless you for thinking enough about us to join us on this morning. I'm praying that my two sidekicks come on. Like I say, I've moved to another seat this morning. I was going to turn it over to them because last week we had such a powerful discussion on just that bridge that we're constantly trying to bring together. It's amazing. I think I was talking to someone just recently about how bridges are made, especially those that are underwater and everything. And you know, we're in a time and a season now where there is a gap in communication. Amen. Somebody that you know, a lot of dialogue gets lost in what's presented. Of course, a lot of us that's on here are of the age where we didn't even know nothing about social media. Some of us are still learning how to navigate through it. You know what I'm saying? But the art of communication has almost left. You know, the has left. Let's just keep it real. You know, everything is I'm tweet you or check out my Facebook page or you know go to TikTok or whatever, and we're actually communicating that way. And in some cases, it's a great thing because it allows us to uh, converse with people that's not in our immediate area. You know, we've been blessed to have 5 churches under our watch over in Kenya. And so, you know, on Wednesdays, matter of fact, in a couple of hours, I will be doing a Zoom conversation with the leaders over there. And so, technology has helped us tremendously, you know, but the question always is that you know it's almost like I tell people all the time, after you tweet me a couple of times, trust me, I'm getting ready to dial you on the phone. And the reason being is because yeah, Pastor Fred is on here. God bless you, sir. He is on this morning, so we will be calling and speaking with them in a few hours, all the way over in Kenya. So that just lets you know technology is a great tool to have. The question is, are we allowing that to replace our straight up communication? Are we allowing that to become more of a crutch than it should be? And so, we had this discussion on last week, and I tell you, the response and the chats that was coming through was so powerful that I believe somebody asked for a part two, and I was supposed to have two great speakers on here this morning. God bless to the Fantastic Four that's on. I see Elder Greg is on and Lady Charmaine is on. God bless you. Thank you for joining. But we were supposed to have, but y'all know I do have a house guest. I have a house guest here this week. Pastor Sean Brock flew in on Monday. Amen. And it really, to be honest, was supposed to be a time of rest for him. And so I have really allowed him to get some rest. And we did go out yesterday. We went and bowled a couple of games, and he won and I won and G won. So we shared it. Nobody, even though at the end of the match, G threw in that he had the highest total score. Now, he didn't tell us that's how he was going to be, but once again, communication. But to God be the glory. So I think he's probably still resting, and I dare not go wake him up, because the whole objective of this week really was for him to get some rest. But he will definitely be on Friday, our inspirational speaker. So whether he resting or not, I'm gonna make sure that he's on for Friday. Amen. But as we get ready to close out, God bless you, Evangelist Rosemary Townsend. I was wondering, was I gonna have to send the authorities down there? I hadn't. I know I saw you yesterday, but I didn't see you this morning, and you're one of the ones that normally jump on as soon as we come on. So I was getting ready to do a wellness check because it's, here's the thing about what Faith and Tea has done, even for me, and I know it gets shared because I be getting the feedback on that. But every morning there are certain people that I do look for and has been blessed, that you all, I want you all to know from the bottom of my heart that you all have been a good push for me through this year, of helping me to stay motivated, helping me to keep my head on straight. Yes, we know the Lord, God said he had me, and trust me, he has definitely done that. But every once in a while, we gotta give people their flowers while they are alive. And so I thank each and every one of you all for how you take the time out on each of the mornings that we're on, and come on, and not only just come on, but the things that you all put in the chat are inspirational to help somebody else, because that's really what this platform was really about. It was not about just me being on here, being able to just talk for 30 minutes or whatever, but it was about us coming together as a community, because in January, the Lord blessed me with the theme of being connected, and that is something that we have used all year long, being connected. And I just want to put this word out, and I know other preachers and pastors and prophets and everything will be saying that they're 2024, but the Lord spoke to me just on last month that 24 is going to be an open door. It's going to be a season of open doors. And so we're so excited that one of the hosts have joined us. So I'm going to go ahead and click us in. I'm on the other side of him this morning. Good morning, Javaris. God bless you. How you doing? How you doing, sir? And so we're just so excited about just this platform as a whole, how the Lord has really allowed us to come into your homes. And so going back to what we're talking about, a social media platform that allows me to enter into people's home and share. And at the same time, because you can comment on the chat, you are inspiring us. So we thank God for that. Javaris has joined us this morning. We're on a split screen. I think I might jump over there and get beside him. But today we're going to kind of like still piggyback off of what we was talking on last week about the social media platforms and everything. So you might want to come on in and give us some additional perspective on it.
I don't remember what we was talking about last week.
Well, last week we got into the conversation of how we use social media a lot of times versus conversing. In other words, I'll get a message, and one of the things that I would say since the transition of your mom, one of the things that I always made a practice of is getting up in the morning and going straight to Facebook, because what I found was there was times that, and I'll just say this, that Lady Charmaine might put a post on there and I could gauge how her day was going to be, and then I started noticing that even Lady Charlene would maybe go to TikTok or put a reel out, and then Elder Greg would do the same. Now, you haven't really been that verbal on social media, but when you do come on, it's generally making a statement. And so, I think last week when we was talking about it, it was more on the level of, are we using that in place of conversation? I think one of the things that you shared was a lot of times the conversation really has already been made, but what happens is we didn't pay attention. You know what I'm saying? And so, I'm of the mindset that when things are said, a lot of times, what are we going to do about it? Are we going to make some adjustments, or are we just going to say that's the norm? And I really don't think that that's the norm. For a lot of us growing up, and this, we used to have dinner together. You know what I'm saying? Of course, breakfast is a lot harder in most homes because of the different, this one's leaving to go to work, the kids, and this, that, and the other. But dinner was a place that we chose to come together to see how our day was. And now we see that really is not happening a lot of times, because once again, people are allowing everything to kind of like control their life, in other words. And so what is it that we can do, or is it something that we need to do?
I think that's still social media though.
Okay.
Because a lot of times y'all don't want to eat together because it's either one person want to watch this one show or this one other person want to be on this app while they eating. They want to be scrolling on Twitter, TikTok. So I still think that's because of social media. Well, I mean, we said this a long time ago. Social media was the fault of a lot of things, though it brings a lot of positive things. Mm-hmm. But I think that's with a lot of things. That's what a lot of things in life, if not everything in life. I mean, outside of let's say Christ, anything that you encounter, I think, comes with a positive and a negative.
Right. Well, that's true. But the question is,
like a battery,
Yeah, but then I would say, are we utilizing, because the positive and the negative, I believe that everything in life happens for a reason. So then my question is, are we taking advantage of the different things? In other words, we know that, and when you were actually coming out of high school, because it really became very popular, my personal opinion, over the last 6, 7, 8 years, okay? And one of the things I would share with your mom, I was on the different platforms, not so much because I really cared about them, but I really was monitoring you a lot of times because I wanted to make sure.
I know you use it.
Yeah. I was making sure that you weren't using certain words that might come back to bite you, because we also have to understand that
once you put it out there,
once it's out there, and we know for a fact that when it comes to jobs, when it comes to schools, we've seen, and you can bear witness to, we've seen young men lose scholarships over using certain words or posting certain things. And so, it was one of those things that for a while it had got kind of out of hand, in other words. And so, we realized that, like you say, the positive side of it is,
we definitely had to bring it in, because I do remember, because you used to call me out on it, but it was a good stretch. If I could just put years on it, probably from like 2013 to like 2017, 2018, where kids around my age literally would say anything and everything out their mouth on social media to whoever, adult, child, mother, father, son, a baby. So it definitely was, what's the word you people say, toxic. It was definitely
Yeah.
it was definitely a bad space. And in result of that, bullying went up.
Yes. Yes.
Bullying
Yes.
went up.
Yes.
That around that time, that's when all these, they started making all these rules in school and all of this about, bullying, because it got real prevalent around that time.
And we even find that a lot of times, especially when it comes to the different platforms, how going back to the bullying, but even sometime in the sports world, attacking opponent in some way, form, or fashion by either trying to beef them up or slow them down. And now it's gotten to the point where you don't even have to be in the situation, aware of the situation, or anything, and you will become in the situation. Prime example, what I'm saying is, even if you're not into sports, if you follow sports, but you're not like, I'm gonna Golden State. That's my squad.
For sure.
That's my squad. But the thing of it is that because social media is so powerful now, you can find out what's going on instantaneously 3,000 miles away, 8,000 miles away, around the world. And, so the question always should be, are we using it to the best of our ability, or are we not? Like you said, that positive and negative. I always want to make sure that even when we come on the broadcast, that we're sending out a positive message. Right. You know what I'm saying? Of course, that's why I have the disclaimer at the front of it, because there are times where other people's opinions, and here I am saying this, I have to respect your opinion. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, when we respected it, I don't have to really agree with it. Yeah. But the thing of it is, I do believe that I have to respect your opinion. And that's why we put the disclaimer at the beginning of our broadcast, because we do want you to have that, at least that ability. And so even when it comes to the social media, I think a lot of times what happens though is we lose that personal that personal side of it. And you all can put some stuff in the chat and help us out this morning. But I think a lot of times we lose that personal side of it, because while you're sending me a chat, it does not necessarily mean that I receive it in the manner that you sent it out. Yeah. You follow what I'm saying? And so a lot of times what ends up happening is we literally start disagreements and arguments over a simple text. Mm-hmm. All because when you said it, you said it with the best intentions in the world. But because I interpreted it.
And you know what's so funny about that is, because I go with I'm continuing to go through that. Is you always so it happens, and you argue with whoever you was talking to, this, that, and the third, and then when you come to a common ground, you find yourself saying, well, that's why we don't need to do it through text. Because you can't, interpret what I mean through a message. You can't tell me how I'm talking through a message. Right. That's, that used to be so funny with me with my mom, is she would come back and would say something like, who you talking to, or something like that. And I'd be like, how do you know how I'm talking through a message? Right. Like, it'll be times I might be, mama get mad at me because I'm not responding to her, and all I'm doing is playing basketball with the friends. Yeah. I'm laughing, joking, this, that, and the third. I'm laughing as I look at the phone. Mama a trip, and I'm laughing as I'm texting her back, like relax, chill out. I say something like that, and she'll, go off, or she'll be upset I'd be like, but then it's like it's kind of like a face value 50-50 type of thing, because you got to kind of understand of like. It's funny because we always want to understand the other side.
That's true.
You never, because if you don't, that means you're being disrespectful. If you don't have the intentions on at least adhering or trying to understand others, you're being disrespectful.
Okay.
That's just off rip. You're being disrespectful. So knowing that, you go into it with the intentions of them, not meaning that in that type of way. So what happens is, it's like you be like, you find yourself trying to, not it's like it's hard, it's hard because it's hard because it's like you can't always stop what you're doing and get on the phone to call, so you text it.
Yeah.
So it's hard to try to really, I'm just be honest, it's hard trying to sound soft in a message.
Well, here you go. Elder Clocks is basically saying, he says it's really hard to interpret how a person feels through texting.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
And I know I used to use it a lot with you. If you was like past your curfew, or because for every parent, and I know all us parents that have experienced teenagers growing up, or young adults growing up living in the home with transportation going out or whatever. We set a curfew, and you were one of those that definitely used every second of your curfew. If it was at 2:00, it was 1:59 and 59 seconds when you were actually coming through the door.
Sure.
God bless you, Pastor Barber. God bless you. Thank you for joining. And so I would tend
to have it no other way.
I would tend to, because your mother definitely could not sleep while you were out.
Well,
and
you'll say the same thing. Don't act.
Well, the thing of it is, I would be asleep. I could sleep.
She'll wake you up.
But her huffing and puffing would cause me to wake up, and then now I'm woke, and I'm like looking at the clock, saying, is he in yet?
Right.
And at the same time, she's like, no, and I called him, and he's not answering the phone, and so I would tweet, like, threatening messages. You know what I'm saying? If you don't answer the phone when your mother call, I'm calling the police, and all that type stuff. And I could, because I know you and the siblings know you, I know you. It didn't even faze you. That's the thing that really, And I think so when we realize, here's the thing, really. So going back to what Elder Clark is saying. There are certain people that can get away with certain tweets and it's nothing. But then there's others that could say the same exact thing and you say who you talking to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think, like I say, one of the things that we still got to get back to is becoming more open in communication, using the phone. Because yes, it is a blessing to be able, like I say, in a couple of hours, I'll be talking to my brothers all the way over in Kenya. You follow what I'm saying? That is a total blessing. But at the same time, sometimes you gotta call.
Yeah, we use social media as an excuse to be an introvert. Social media doesn't mean you're an introvert.
Right.
We use that as an excuse to become introverted. It's just it could be for a variety of reasons, but we just, like I say, I'm kind of in that middle gap because I'm not a 2000s baby. I'm a 90s baby, but I'm at the tail end of the 90s.
Yeah.
I see, but I have experienced both sides. I remember it was times where everybody was outside. You ain't had no phone.
Right.
Well, in result of that... Well,
do you remember that?
Come on now. You just said I used to be outside past my curfew. So like, in result of that, it forced you to know everybody in the neighborhood name.
Right.
You knew when their birthday was.
Yes.
You knew the stupid stuff. You even knew what their favorite color was.
Right.
Why? Because you just had to. Because what else was y'all going to do but to get to know each other and play around?
Yeah.
I slowly started seeing it as I grew up, got older. I started having nieces and nephews. I started seeing what they would want to get and what they would get for, as simple as a holiday, as opposed to me. I don't never recall coming to you for a holiday and asking for electronics, and if it was a
Right.
video game to play play with friends.
Right.
I never experienced, can I get an iPad? Can I get an iPhone? Can I get an iPod? Can I get an MP3? I don't never remember. I don't never recall doing that. But that's what these kids want now.
Yeah.
They don't,
Well, the babies. I mean, because
the little ones.
And Lady Charlene says she's always been an introvert, but social media has helped her a lot because if you go to her TikTok, she puts out a beautiful. She's doing this month grief days, and I've been watching each and every one of them, and she's been doing an excellent job with that. But getting back to what you're saying, now her little crew grew up knowing how to use my phone, and check this out, remembering my password. I could give them my password one time and they instantly remembered it. So it's like when I walk in the door, the first thing, Papa, can I have your phone?
Well, the funny thing is, it didn't even start with Marcus Jr. It started with Justin.
Yes.
Little Justin.
Yes.
Little Justin was the first person that started being on the phone, knowing how to, open up, you and mom's phone.
Right.
And play with it.
Yeah. And to a certain extent, so we're guilty of using it as a pacifier per se. Because a lot of times in church, you can go to church services now, and parents have even gotten to the point where they've got the headset for their babies to have on so that they can have an iPad sitting in church, you know what I'm saying, and looking at YouTube videos or whatever to keep them calm while they're in service.
And I think what we have to come to the realization of and move forward and just figure out what is this new life.
Mother used to say guilty.
What is this new life is the pandemic changed our life forever. It didn't change our life for 2 years. I feel like that's the misunderstanding that we are going through, that we are continuing to go through, that we feel like the pandemic was just for that moment.
Right.
Not that we still feel the pandemic, that though we do, it's just the fact that the pandemic has changed how life will forever be.
Yes.
And it's like we just throw that under the radar, like it's not like it's just all for naught. But everything that has happened across history, across in our lives, it didn't just impact for that moment. It changed forever. When 9/11 happened, 9/11 didn't just change that moment. It changed how the world, how we see the world forever. I grew up, I'm a 97 baby. 9/11, I was only 4 years old. So I never flew. I never got a chance to go to an airport. So I wasn't aware that before 9/11, you didn't have to go through TSA. You didn't even see a security guard until you aborted your plane because that was the only one. Then you took off. So you only had one security guard. It to the point where I ended up finding out a story about a dude who stole a plane all by just walking through. Just walking through. He didn't have to sneak. He didn't hide himself from nobody. He had no mask on. All he did was just walk to the plane and took off. So what happens is when stuff happens, when a life occurring event happen, it changes the life landscape forever. Because of 9/11, it would no longer be the same. I think they said it's only one airport in the United States. I think they said that's in Kansas City, where you don't go through a TSA check. And that might just been them because it was through the NFL broadcast. It was the report, so that they definitely ain't. It ain't no fact. That was them just probably saying when they be going city to city to report, they don't have to when they in Kansas City. So the pandemic, I see all these stories about how basically every living kid is under their reading, math, and writing level by at least 2 years. Well, the pandemic lasted 2 years. We were out of school 2 years. Well, okay. Okay. That kind of add up. That makes sense. So it's like the pandemic changed our life. We could either accept that, and now like figure out how we have to move forward. It was an adjustment for us, I never struggled with school. I ain't never had no problems with school. So it was so when the pandemic came up, I found myself having to do a little bit more helping,
right,
because school was gone.
Yeah.
And now you had us, family members, parents, this, that, and the third. Like you say, we substituted teaching. I know for a fact, because I if my nephews and nieces came to me through the pandemic, I ain't teach them a thing.
Right.
What we do? We gave them an iPad, gave them an iPhone, and did that. So we got to understand that the pandemic changed our life forever, and we got to know how to move past that.
Right. So as we close out this session, once again, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Thank you, G, for your perspective on that. And as he said, listen, once a change happens, we have to make the adjustment.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of our...
We act like the pandemic was just... it's not.
And it passed.
It's not.
And it will be with us for the rest of our life. I mean, even now, you still got people that's saying for certain events that you have to, do the social distancing and things like that, because it flares up here and there. But we want to thank each and every one of you all for joining us this morning. Come back on Friday. I guarantee you won't be disappointed. Pastor Sean Brock will be our inspirational speaker on this coming Friday. And as we get ready to go into the remainder of the holiday season, I'm always going to tell you, be mindful of how you use those credit cards. Don't allow, as G was saying, the electronics and stuff like that. Yes. I truly believe that this is a season, but don't get caught out there
First of all, you shouldn't be shopping at night. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And this goes to the mothers, the grandmothers, this, that, and the third. I understand if you work this, that, and the third. That's the Lord telling you that they don't deserve that gift and shit. And if you can't find time to shop before noon and be back in the house before 2, 3, that's him telling you that obviously they don't need whatever gift that you feel that you gotta be out the house at 6, 7. The lights. First of all, the lights. The night lights is coming on at 6 o'clock.
Right. We're just talking about being safe.
That's all.
Being safe.
Don't.
And so as we close, listen, it's still not too late. We're still definitely pushing the scholarship for this month. We're going to be continuing to do it because it's an ongoing thing. And we want to be a blessing to those that's in school. So once again, if you know anybody that's a senior getting ready to go into college, make sure they go to the website and apply for the scholarship. We want to be a blessing, and anything that you submit, listen, you want to do it before the 31st so you can claim it on your taxes. This is a 501. You will get tax credit for it. So let's be a blessing as we close out this year. Listen, have a phenomenal day on purpose. We love you. We thank you so much for once again being a part of our morning faith and tea. And to all of you all, we will see you once again on this coming on Friday. We'll see you Friday, same time, same place, and Pastor Sean Brock will be our guest. God bless you. Have a phenomenal day on purpose. Thank you so much.
You